Welcome to the Your Fitness Chick podcast. Become your best self. I'm your host, Abby Smiley Krause. I am a personal trainer, a wellness enthusiast, and I'm not gonna lie, a certified dog-obsessed human. This isn't just another fitness podcast. It's your wake-up call to level up your life. In this podcast, I'll be diving into everything from crushing your workouts to shifting your mindset, because being your best self isn't just about lifting weights, it's about lifting your life. Whether you're here to get fit, find inspiration, or just stop settling for an average life, you're in the right place. We're talking about tapping into your full potential, expanding your horizons, and building a life so good, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. So let's lace up, show up, and start making things happen. This isn't just a podcast. It's your permission slip to dream big, work hard, and create the life you've always wanted. Join me here every Tuesday for a fresh episode. Welcome to the Your Fitness Chick podcast. I'm Abby, your fitness chick, and I'm excited to have another special guest on the show today. Today I have Tim Giardino. He is an Optavia coach, and he is going to share with us some really valuable insight on a very structured program for people who would like to lose weight. So as your fitness chick, I'm old school. You know, I love just working out, lifting heavy stuff, and eating good. But I know that there's a million methods to the madness, and what works for me may not work for some. And as Tim and I talked before, we're both in this together to really help as many people across the board as we can. And because of that, I like to always present different options to people because we're all striving towards the same goal. So welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Abby. And, I have to say that I was super impressed with our conversation the other day, how open you are to something that you didn't quite understand or know fully, right? And I love that.
Correct.
And so, and I love your spirit, your energy, the whole thing. I like to follow you on social media, and I'm a fan. So.
Oh, thank you. Likewise.
Thanks. One thing I do want to maybe adjust a little bit.
Yeah.
This Optavia is not necessarily a weight loss program. It's an optimal health program.
Okay.
Often starts with weight loss. Most people kind of come through that weight loss portal. They stepped on the scale and they're not liking it, or they put a shirt on and their button popped off and hurt somebody. Something, if they had something go wrong and they're like, okay, I need some help, and they need some extra structure and support. And that's where we come in. So.
Very good to know. Okay, great. Well, let's rewind then for a second. And before we dive into more about Optavia, am I saying that right?
It's actually Optavia, means the
Optavia.
way, yes.
Okay. Optavia. I think you told me that the first time. I forgot. Hooked on phonics works for me. All right. So Optavia. So with that being said, tell us just a little bit about your background and your bio.
Okay.
Like what are you all about, Tim?
All right. Well, you know what? I walked into the gym for the very first time when I was 15 and absolutely fell in love with working out. And I even got into bodybuilding in my late teens and through my 20s. When I was 30, I had a work accident and had to have back surgery, and that kind of it didn't go well, and so it kind of got me off track, and I had a really difficult time kind of finding my way back. I always ate pretty clean, but I found that I was basically eating, kind of the wrong things at the wrong times, that type of thing, too much, not enough, all the things. I mean, I became a serial dieter. I always tried to work out, but I had some limitations for a while. It took me about 10 years to get over what the back surgery caused. And
Which I think a lot of people can identify with that because a lot of times when you get an injury, especially when you're in a good groove and you've been in it for most of your life or for a lot of it, when you get a setback like that, it can be devastating because it actually, if working out is a big part of your life and who you are, then you feel kind of lost. And so I'm imagining there might have been a little bit of depression in there
Oh, for
too,
sure.
that might have been fueling some of your eating incorrectly. Would you agree with
I would
that?
agree 100%. Yes. And I actually started kind of leaning into some unhealthier habits, just because of that. And I wasn't working out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I, eating the wrong things, kind of maybe, using a little more alcohol than I probably should have, things like that. Um,
In
that
there.
all that all kind of contributes again. And so yeah, that was it. I was off track for a good 15, 16 years.
And did you have a substantial weight gain during
Hmm.
that time
I
or
did. I was north of 260 pounds. Um,
okay. And how tall are you?
uh, 6 foot, just a
Okay.
smidge under that. But I
Okay.
also, I was also on cholesterol medication. I also had a really bad bout of vertigo, um, and which is
Right.
another thing that even when I was back to working out, and mostly it was cardio because that's kind of what I knew to get the weight off. But yeah, and basically, that even caused some more problems because when you're north of 260 pounds, running is not the optimal way. Because I always joke, I think I put my chiropractor's kids through school. But yeah,
Right. That can be difficult. That's a lot of pushing to push.
it is, and I would lose the weight by doing a ton of running during the. I was up in the Chicago area at the time, so when the season allowed,
Okay.
I would get out and run, and then during the winter, I would recover from all the running that I did, and then I would put the weight back on.
Right. Typical pattern of a lot of people who've lost the same pounds over and over and over and over and over and over
Right.
again. So where does Optavia come in here? How did you get introduced to being a coach there?
Yeah, so that's actually very interesting. We had a video production company for a lot of years. We produced uh, commercials and corporate communications, things like that. And in 2012, I was hired to interview coaches. And so I went out to the West Coast, spent a week or so with these health coaches. And I was hearing these amazing stories of not just weight loss, but life transformation. And, I'm behind the camera. I'm almost not even able to pay attention to what I'm shooting because I'm so drawn in to the stories. And so at the end of the first day of shooting, I called my wife and I said, there's something different here. I need to, kind of look into this. And, and so I did. And she said yes to everything because I was trying everything. I tried every program, everything that came across my awareness, I would try.
And excuse me for interrupting here. This was 2012, 2013.
This was 2012.
Okay, so about 12 years ago
Yes.
then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the very next day, I grabbed one of the coaches and I said, I need to do this because literally they're telling their stories. And I like to say, but nobody's talking to the fat guy behind the camera, you know? And so I literally had to go up to one of the coaches and said, I need to try this. And so I signed up right then and there. Uh,
Wow.
yeah.
Very
I mean,
cool. So obviously it was very impactful for you.
it was.
So once you dove into it, obviously you had some success, correct?
Yes, and this is kind of where you and I were a little off on our conversation the other day because I lost 60 pounds in less than 3 months, and
Yeah. A lot of weight.
it was a lot of weight. But I think kind of for me the exciting part was not so much the weight loss, and again that was super cool, but the vertigo that I dealt with for 4 years cleared up in the first month, and that really got my attention. So I was like getting healthy from the inside out. Again, the weight loss was a lot of fun, but as I I was feeling more energetic. My sleep was getting better. Brain fog. All these things were like clearing up for me.
What about your cholesterol medication? Did you go off that as well?
Completely off that.
Within 3 months.
No, that took a little while. Even
Okay.
though the numbers
So
were
long.
going down and it was being adjusted and things like that. But my doctor, he was kind of slow rolling that one, and that's I trusted him. He was actually a friend and everything else. So it took me within a year to completely get off the cholesterol medications.
Okay. Still great though.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So let's talk about Optavia.
Okay.
Let me know and let's inform the audience. Number one, who is the ideal Optavia client? And number two, tell us about the different programs that are offered.
Okay. I think anyone the that's such a there's such a wide range of people that we can help. And again, I'm at my I'm at a great weight. I love being at and the whole thing, and I still eat this way and still use the nutrition, because it keeps me here. So I think anybody who is one wants to better their health, obviously, that's the easy one. But then also, people who are busy and can't necessarily take the time or the effort to meal prep and all the things that you kind of have to do in order to eat multiple times a day. And we
Right.
totally agree on that. You have to have small meals throughout the day, and
Mhm.
you keep that metabolism going. And so yeah, people who are busy, running around, even though
Which is everybody.
working, yeah, everybody really, and again, because it's about being at your best health, and then there
Yeah.
are tools and support and all that stuff to help people kind of achieve what they need to achieve.
And would you mind sharing your age?
I'm 64. Mhm.
64. So you're in phenomenal shape.
Thank you.
Um, so obviously there's a lot of different people who could benefit from this program, as you kind of
Right.
mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. Um, so there's a lot of different programs underneath of it,
Right.
right? They're underneath this big umbrella.
Right.
There's a lot of different
That's right.
offerings. So run us through maybe not all of them, maybe just like your top three or whatever
Yeah.
ones you want to speak about that you feel would be most beneficial to speak of.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's the kind of the weight loss, that most people kind of fit into. We have programs for nursing moms. We have programs for uh, people who are older. We have programs for teens. We have programs for people that are on weight loss medications. There's a lot of different. Again, we meet people where they are, and we plug them into a system of nutrition and support to help them accomplish their goals. But there's really nobody that we can't help. As a matter of fact, my mother got on program at 82, and uh, she was dependent on her diabetes medication, and she
Okay.
literally got off her medications for
Wow. After how long?
a lot of years. I couldn't even tell
Okay.
you. Yeah.
No, I mean, how long after she started the
Oh,
program was she able to get rid of?
yeah, that's a another good question. I think probably within 6, 8 months. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. After being diabetic for a really long
Mhm.
time. So, the programs obviously revolve around packaged food and coaching. Is that safe to say those are your kind of two main hunks of the program? It's food and coaching.
That actually covers half of it. There's actually four components to this program.
Okay.
Everybody gets a free health coach. Okay. So you
Okay.
get a guide that walks you through this program and makes sure that you feel good. You're getting the results that you're looking for. All those things. There's an educational component, because if
Okay.
there's no behavior modification, once you lose the weight, you're going to go back and put it back on again, right?
100%.
So,
Yeah.
and I actually have these. There's the Dr. Anderson's Habits of Health book. which is an
Is Dr. Anderson the founder of the
he
company?
is he co-founder and medical director.
Okay.
And this is an amazing resource. I've been through it a few times. I love this book. But then there's also the Life book, and if you don't want to
Okay.
read, they make great barbells. So,
Multi-purpose stuff.
but healthy mind is part of it, and so you have
Yeah,
to
for
get in
sure.
there and you have to identify what those things are, those triggers, those things that keep
Yes.
pulling you back. And the Life book I love, and it's been out for I think 4 maybe 5 years now is all,
Mhm.
and it's very interactive. And so once you can interact with that and really kind of identify what those things are that bring you back, because we understand that it's not necessarily genetics. Genetics does play a small role in our health, but
Mhm.
mostly it's the habits that are passed down from generation to generation. The eating
Right.
habits, the healthy movement, all the things. And so once you're able to identify those and uncover those, then you can make those shifts, and then you don't have to go backwards again. Which I did
Okay.
many times on diets. When you diet and just diet and exercise, but you're not changing what's in here, when you hit a goal, you kind of like in a race. I've done a lot of races because that was part of my weight management. Once you
Mhm.
cross that finish line, you stop running. And so it's the same with people have an idea of a number on the scale or a size for
Right.
clothing. They kind of stop once they hit that. And
Right.
this kind of builds in even a structural tension. So you're always achieving more. You're always wanting to go to the next level.
Okay. I think that's so important because, working with some of even my fitness clients, they'll start off really good out of the gate.
Right.
And then if they don't correct the behaviors, then triggers and all that, they're gonna have their setbacks. That's why people go on these roller coasters all the
Yes.
time. I think it's not only because so many people are looking for that hack, right? The latest diet
Right.
trend and the latest diet pill, but they're not fixing the internal source. And one of my favorite people I was just listening to today when I was on the treadmill doing my cardio is David
Oh,
Goggins.
I
I don't
love
know if
that.
you
Absolutely. I've got a few of his
he,
books
he
right here.
probably he probably needs some Dr. Phil in his life, but
A
he's
lot of
amazing.
tweaking going on, but
You can't deny it, and you cannot not respect this
absolutely.
man, right? So I listened to him an awful lot, and I was listening to one of his many things you can find on YouTube, and he was just discussing that so many people in the gym, they're working on their exoskeleton and they're working out and getting their outside, their physical part looking good, but on the inside, they're still a mess.
Right.
So, although they can work together, right? Because I think a lot of times, like I personally went through a traumatic experience, and through working out, I was able to heal through because it's just that mind, body, spirit connection. But again, if people aren't working on that mindset shift and developing new healthy
Right.
habits, then no matter what weight they lose, most likely they're going to gain it back.
Yes. Absolutely. And,
So,
and
so the four components with your I keep thinking I'm going to say it wrong. Optavia,
yeah. Right.
right? Is the free health coach, the habits teaching,
Mhm.
new
Yes.
habits, the food,
Yes. And
or the education and the
the
education. Is that correct?
education is part of that behavior modification.
Okay.
The fourth
Okay.
component is community. You know,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
we plug people into a healthy minded community. Everybody's on kind of doing the same thing, going the same place, on the path to their best self. You know, so it's a very positive community. We have private Facebook groups. We do community Zooms like you do your Zooms. Things like that. And
Okay.
so yeah, that's a big part of and um, James Clear spoke to.
Love him.
So yeah, so do we. He actually spoke at our convention in July.
I actually have his book sitting right here on my coffee table. It's on my cabinet.
I love it.
That was it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's sitting right there on
Atomic
my coffee
Habits. Yes,
table.
I've been through that 3 times now. Absolutely love it.
But sorry, yeah, James
Yeah,
Clear.
and Dr.
Go
Anderson
ahead.
actually was able to interview him live on stage for us and stuff, and he loves this, and this is just because it just works, and you got to change your habits, and you have to know why you want to change your habits. But mostly, it all starts with identity. Once you change your identity into the person that can achieve these habits, right? And so that's why the community is another important part of this,
Yeah,
because if we're not healthy, oftentimes we're hanging out with people that are not healthy, right?
100%.
Yeah. So if you want to grow in any area of your life, get around people who are on the same path.
Like-minded.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. That's really awesome. So tell me if I want to know your most popular program and what that looks like. So I'm talking because I don't know a whole lot about
Hmm.
it. I know some, but a lot of people don't. So if somebody was thinking about getting on the program, let's say you take an average client who wants to lose
Hmm.
weight, because most people do.
Okay.
What's your most popular program? What's that look like? What's their food look like in a day? What's the cost?
Okay. I love that.
What's it
Oh,
like?
absolutely. And so basically, in that kind of weight loss phase, so actually all the programs, you're going to learn to eat every 2.5, 3 hours all day long.
Okay.
So, but in kind of in the weight loss phase of this, we call it 5 and 1. And so basically you have five of our fuelings, and it's just, they're small, nutritionally dense meals, and they can be anywhere from bars and shakes, I mean, there's like 70 different things, menu items.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Variety.
And and they all have the same nutritional makeup. So you could
Okay.
eat brownies all day if you want and still get the nutrition and still get healthy on this. One of your meals
Okay.
during the day, and it can be any time during the day at all, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whenever. Most people save their fresh meal for dinner because it's family
Okay.
time or whatever. But one time during the day, you have a fresh meal, and that consists of protein and vegetables. Okay. Now
Okay.
they're understanding what a healthy meal looks like, what a healthy serving size looks like. It's all weighed and measured, and so they get real good at knowing what that looks like. And even to the point where they can go to restaurants or anything else. We don't want to take people out of their everyday life. We want to help them within their within their day to day. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Just adapting to new changes.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Just adapting to new
Yes.
changes, like a new decisions and making new
Yeah,
choices.
absolutely. Yeah. And you learn how to make choices that not just align with what you want right there in the moment, but you learn how to make choices with what is the most important thing for you. And it usually starts with, kind of food choices, but it also goes into, what you're thinking, what you're saying, all these things, it's like, do I need to win this argument, or is the relationship more important to me? Those types of
Right.
things. So everything goes through the filter of what's the win here? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Dr. Phil always says, do you want to be happy or you want to be right?
Very, very true.
So So the meals there, you have over 70 different choices for meals. Those vary from protein bars and drinks. So for people on the fly,
Yes.
that's super convenient. But you also have prepackaged meals that are shipped to people's homes that they select,
Yes.
right? If they're on the program, they could say, "Ooh, I had that mac and cheese last time. I really like
And we
that.
do have
So
mac
I'm
and
going to order
cheese.
that." Okay. So they can order whatever they want
Correct.
from the program.
Correct. Typically, we start people
Okay.
with a bit of a variety because they don't know what to expect.
Right, so they can try a
Yeah,
lot of
and
different
so we do
things.
that,
The exposure.
and then after that, then I want more of this, or less of that. And nobody's ever stuck with feelings that they don't like. We're not here to sell feelings. We're here to put people in a structure and help them to win. So,
Right.
so basically, every fueling comes in a box of seven of those,
Okay.
and they can try something twice. And if they decide they're just not gonna love this, just not gonna eat it, they can actually send that open box of five back and get 100% refund on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So it's
Okay.
very,
Like
we
that.
have amazing corporate support, through this. And so, so that's part of what we do because we want people to be happy. If it doesn't taste good, they're not going to eat it. It just
No,
is
they're
what it is.
not.
So they have to follow
And is the food shipped room temperature or is it
it.
cold?
No, it's all, so that's good. So it's all, so it's basically dehydrated. And so,
Okay.
so it's just, you don't have to refrigerate it. If it's
Okay.
water, you add
Gotcha.
water and put it in the microwave or refrigerator. Depends on what you want to do with it. I just had a soup a little bit ago, for mine, and so there's all kinds of, there's different ways you can prepare these, but
Okay.
you don't have to refrigerate them.
So I'll share a really funny story with you that I just thought of. I actually forgot about this until just now. But when I was a freshman in college, I had a really traumatic event happen to me, and I coped through food and
Right.
alcohol. And I'm very small boned, and I've always been very skinny. In fact, in high school, I was called Ethi Abby for Ethiopian because I was so
That is just
skinny.
mean, but yes.
Yeah. I mean, I was popular, but it was a joke, Ethi Abbey. So when I gained over 40 pounds my freshman year in college through my overindulgence and coping with food and alcohol, my mom, my family was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm just like, "Oh, because I didn't share what had happened." But without going into that, I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I do need to lose some weight. So I actually drove to Jenny Craig. There was a Jenny Craig that was about 45 minutes from the campus, the college I was going to. And so I went, spent all this money, got my food for the week. And because I was not mentally ready, my drive home, I ate all the desserts.
Okay.
So I just want a lot of people don't realize I've had issues with food before too. And that's where I think it's really, I mean, I can laugh about it now, but it was not a good time for the fitness check. Um, but it's because I had to heal with my mindset and shift of that. But I like the idea that you can order the food, that you have access to choices. But as I shared with you before, the one thing I don't like about it is that it's processed food because I always try to teach fresh food. I know you get the fresh meal, but you did share with me
Yes.
that it's medical grade,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So explain to me how that's different than if I go to Publix and get a room temperature, because I did this for hurricane season a couple years ago, a room temperature Hormel pot roast dinner. How is the process, the medical grade of your company different from that? What makes that different?
I'll do my best with that. But so basically, um, our feelings they're created in an environment same as like uh, your top shelf supplements would be, right? And so it's basically we have scientists and nutritionists working on this, and we got to hang out with some of them in July and talk with them
Oh, cool.
about that, and they're always working on making things better or even more options for people, which is really great. We're always looking for more options, but yeah, basically it's like a medically grade um, uh, supplement in food form.
Is it like freeze dried?
No, so so basically, well, no, so they don't come in like hot meals, and so we do have
Right.
a section for that. But these come in, whether they're powder form for shakes or pancake mix, things like that. Um, they're all
Okay.
single serve, so you can't overdo it. It's just the right amount of nutrition with the serving size, and so and 24 vitamins, minerals, probiotics, extra vitamin D because Americans aren't getting enough vitamin D. that type of thing. And so instead of trying to be your own nutritionist or own pharmacist and going and buying all these supplements because we're not necessarily getting them in our food. And if you
Mm-hmm.
want to get it in your food, then eating healthy, unless you're used to that, it can be a little overwhelming. There's work involved. There's expense involved because healthy food costs more, and that's why
Yeah.
inexpensive, cheap food does to our bodies the opposite of what we actually want. But because it's affordable, and you asked about the affordability or the cost in this. Um, so basically, all the support, the coaching, the community, everything that we do is completely free for our clients. They don't pay for any
Mm.
of it. It was designed this way. When Dr. Anderson designed this, he wanted he wanted the people to be able to get quick results, because if they don't get quick results, people quit and give up. They give up on
Mhm.
themselves. Not everybody has kind of that mindset where I'm just going to do this, and I think you were the same way, and I'm kind of the same way. I'd eat cardboard if I knew it was going to do this for me. So, but
Yep.
a lot of people are not that way. So
Most people.
you have to help the masses to get
Right.
healthy, and then I love even the ripple effect as it ripples through their families and so. But so you had to get quick results. Obviously, it has to work, um, and then it can't be expensive. Or again, people are not going to either do it or they're not going to stay with it. So each one of our meals is only about $3. So for basically
Wow.
$15 a day, you're getting 5 meals, and you're getting all
Wow.
the support and everything else that comes with it. The community, everything comes with it for free.
So, which is amazing. That's a huge value for the support system just alone. But so let me dive back into the process part though
Okay.
again. So if within the 5 meals, like what's that protein content? Like what's the macronutrients in that look like? I know they have minerals, they have vitamins and all that, but like what's the macronutrients? Like what's the typical meal? How much protein does it have? How much
Um,
carbohydrates
I would actually have to
on
on
average?
average. Um, I don't know if I have that in my notes. So basically, when we have some other products, we have uh, essential amino acids and proteins and stuff like that. And I was kind of more focused on that. And
Yeah.
so the amino acids have 10 grams of the essential amino acids, right? Because that's
Okay.
what our body doesn't produce. Um,
Right.
and again, there are no colors, there's no additives, there's no fillings of any sort in these things. But and like the proteins, there's 24 grams of protein in each serving, so it's pretty.
Okay, so each meal usually has approximately 24 grams of protein.
Um, I'm going to say I should have had that in front of me, and I'm so sorry.
Well, to kind of make it easier then, because I am kind of putting you on the spot, and I'm not meaning to. I'm just
Yeah.
curious with, okay, so let's say if I was a client and I did like a protein drink, a protein bar, and 3 of your
Mhm.
fuelings. On average, how much protein am I going to get from those 5 meals?
You'll probably somewhere around 70 grams or so of protein,
Okay. Plus the fresh meal that they have.
plus a fresh meal. Yeah.
So, do you have a protein goal that you steer your clients towards? Like, do you try to shoot for 100, or does that just depend, obviously, on their weight and what their goal
Yeah, it
is?
really depends on their goals, because some people are just, they just kind of want to, get healthier, lose some weight, get off some medications or whatever that is for them. We obviously, for athletes, for people that really stress their bodies, there's more. There's the protein, there's the amino acids for that.
Okay.
But this is very balanced, and it's based in science. So yeah, and I'm blanking on the exact numbers of all that stuff.
Like a rough estimate because I'm like queen of protein, and I feel like that's like the most important macronutrient and that people need
They do.
to maintain and preserve their muscle mass so that they can fuel better existing metabolism.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and also with the essential amino acids, because they not only help you to rebuild the protein and the amino acids, but they also protect your muscles as well. Because by the time
Right,
we're 30 years old, we start our muscles start going into the wrong, like a decline. So we have to work that
right,
much harder and take that much more supplements in even to keep that going. Um, but
right.
yeah, so it helps with muscle, helps reduce soreness after workouts, that whole thing. Promotes protein synthesis. So you're basically back into the muscle building or growing portion. Um,
So, since we're on that topic, let's shift gears here. So, I know I shared with you during our first initial conversation that my concern with rapid weight loss is you're going to lose some lean mass. So, that's the challenge that I've had with these Ozempic, Wegovy, Manjaro. I'm a huge unliker of
yeah.
those, except for when people really they're going to die. If they don't lose weight, they're going to
Right.
die. So if they do it the right way and they're guided to change their lifestyle, then okay. But when you're losing weight, there's a difference between losing weight and losing fat,
100%.
right?
100%.
So what I've explained is if you lose 30 pounds, but you do it at a rapid pace and over half of it was lean mass, you actually got fatter because your body composition now has a higher percentage of body fat.
Correct.
So, if I understand correctly, this program is a restricted calorie nutrition plan, right?
Correct. But what happens is, and I love that you asked this question, and we talked about it briefly the other day as well. So what happens is that because of the nutrition that you get and the timing and the hydration, all the things that go into this program, your body actually you start living in a mild state of ketosis. So you're not losing weight. You're actually tapping into all that stored energy, those fat cells. So that's what you're using. You're draining that energy source, and that's all fat is. That's just an energy source. So now you're
Right.
tapping into that. I was actually training for a half Ironman when I got on the program,
Wow.
and so I had to dial some extra things in there to help me because my trainings were 3 to 4 hours a day, and so and the vertigo made that very difficult, by the way.
I'm
But
sure.
but I was really driven to kind of get back into that condition, that shape, and so um, but so it's you can tap into rapid fat loss, but you're not losing muscle mass. And so, as a matter of fact, you can actually gain muscle while losing weight, um, depending on kind of the protein, the exercise, and all the things that you do for that. But it's not. And so let's go back to the medically supported weight loss for a second, because you brought that up, and
Okay.
that's such a thing right now, right? It's like the easy,
Yeah.
easy button. I think it's super important for a lot of people that just
Hmm.
can't do it. Um,
Hmm.
it's become a bit of a fad, right?
Yeah.
That's kind
Definitely.
of the scary part. Um,
Right.
but Optavia has also done a lot of studies on that with people that are on medically supported weight loss, and we've actually partnered with LifeMD over the past couple years now,
Hmm.
because what we're seeing is people get on these weight loss drugs, and you're right, they're losing muscle, they're losing bone density, they're losing the healthy fat around their organs. I mean, they're losing weight, but it's not always a good thing. And
Right.
so and again, once they get to, that size or that number on the scale, and they get off the medication, it all comes back because they haven't changed anything. If anything, they probably even just, even lowered their metabolism. They've even done more damage at
100%.
the end of the day.
Hmm.
So what we've been able to do with a partnership like through LifeMD, and not everybody has to. They can come and they're already on these weight loss medications. They come to us. We put them in a structure and we teach them how to eat healthy. So again, when they're done with these medications, and we've had a number of clients that I've personally coached who've come to me on weight loss medications and have actually ditched the medications for the healthy lifestyle living. And so we're
Great.
able to kind of flip that switch for them. But a lot of people, they're going to need that help one way or the other. And so we get to
Hmm.
partner with them and help them to, create a healthy lifestyle. And that's what this is all about. We focus on basically that we focus on six macro habits, right? So there's the healthy weight management, healthy eating and hydration. That's a big thing. Healthy motion, um, healthy sleep, energy management, healthy mind. Again, kind of get into like, why do you make those decisions, and how to help them fix that. And then healthy surroundings. We help them to clean out the garbage in their in their pantries. And sometimes it's you have to figure out who your friends are, who you're going to be going out to dinner with, and those types of things. So it's all part of kind of making that shift to live in a healthy lifestyle, and that's what this is all about. Is
And I love
yeah,
that. That's why because at first I was like, I don't know about, I've heard bad things, like I just had kind of a close down about
sure.
it. And then I really am like, you know what? You got to be open minded. And I love everything you just shared with me because at the end of the day, even if people don't eat the food, if they can start to change their
Yeah,
lifestyle, then that's important. So I know you're getting ready to say something because we've spoke before that when they get on the program, kind of like how you had the people that were on the medical supported weight loss drugs, you explained to me before something like to the effect of training
yeah,
wheels, right? Why don't we talk about that real quick? Because this is a good segue into that, where people might start with you, do the program, do the 5 fuelings, and then their fresh whole food meal. They have success, they have great transformation, but now they're ready to start. Now that they are equipped to make better choices, they're ready to start eating more regular food that they prepare. So, what does that look like, or where did you want to expand with that?
yeah. So, and I love that you brought that up. So basically, if somebody is, and most people and we interview people before they start this, we want to find out, kind of what they've done in the past that's worked, and what doesn't work, and how many times they've been through that yo-yo thing. And, um, you know, but we also want to focus on the reason they want to get healthy. So that's part of it, because they have to have a target. It's not just, like I said, it's not a number on the scale or a clothing size. It's the reasons why. It's like, I want to live long enough to walk my daughter down the aisle. I mean, whatever that is for them. I want to look better for my spouse, or everybody's got their reason. Once we
Mhm.
make that connection for them, and then the rest is easy, right? Because now they have this North Star. I'm going for this, not just a number on the scale. And then that actually helps them to um, stay on a healthy path even after they hit their number. But you're talking about going from, somebody who eats, a lot of people eat one, two, sometimes three meals a day.
Mhm.
And oftentimes they're not healthy meals. Sometimes they're fast food. You can't
Mhm.
starve yourself all day long and have a big meal. It's like if you had a little bonfire out back, and that's kind of how you're when you're younger. That's how your metabolism is. It's just this raging. You can eat
Right.
anything, right? Um,
Yeah.
but then it slows down over time, over because of age, because of lifestyle, because of how we eat, all those things. So now our metabolism looks like just kind of these glowing members, or embers, I should say. And then
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you take this big meal, like this big log, and you drop it on there, and it does nothing, right? And
Mhm.
so it just sits there, and you feel horrible. You feel like you have this rock in your gut. And so
Yeah.
so then that's why we want to help people like fuel their body throughout the day with these small. It's like throwing little sticks in that fire, that getting that thing going again, getting your metabolism going again.
Yeah.
Um, but it's really difficult for a lot of people to make that shift, you know? And so the training wheel analogy is like, okay, you're learning how to ride a bike. You're really wobbly, and until have had some reps in and some practice. Well, that's how this is. So all of a sudden, you're eating 6 times a day, sometimes more if you have longer days. Basically, from the time you wake
Mhm.
up to the time you lay your head back on the pillow, you're in your
Mhm.
body. Um,
Mhm.
but you only have to even think about one meal a day. Your one
Right.
fresh meal. Everything else is just given to you. So it gives you that balance. It gives you, again, now instead of thinking about, okay, what am I going to eat all day now? Going from way over there to this. A lot of people can't make that jump, and so we help them to get their balance, and once they start feeling really good and start seeing and experiencing these changes, and then it kind of creates its own energy. Then when they get to, as we like to call it, their happy place, when they look in the mirror and they're like, okay, this looks great. It's not about a size or number on the scale. But
Mhm.
they look in the mirror and think, oh my gosh, this is where I want to be. Then we
Right.
start bringing in more fresh food and start taking out more of the fuelings, right? And so now it's more, you're using the fuelings in between because they're just convenient, they're highly nutritious, um, low glycemic, all the right things. So for me, at my healthy weight, um, if I'm running around, I'm doing a lot of things. I may have 3 or 4 fuelings a day just to supplement my lifestyle, especially when
Mhm.
we're traveling and things like that. We travel quite a
Sure.
bit. Um,
Yeah.
so now it just becomes a convenient way to get good nutrition in. But I also know how to eat properly, and I know what the proper
Mm.
serving sizes are and all those things. So I can, it just kind of becomes a supplement to your day.
So somebody doesn't necessarily, if they start with the program, they don't necessarily have to stay on it forever. They can just transition into this healthier lifestyle, shift their mindset, learn these new habits and behaviors, understand the structure. And that's why what I do like about the program is it's so structured.
Very much so.
That again, if somebody literally has just, sometimes people just need that. Everybody has a different way of thinking, a different way of viewing weight loss, different experiences, different reasons for the way they are. And because of that, there's different solutions for
Hmm.
people. So I do like that this has a structure, maybe for those people who just really need that component,
Right.
you know. So I do like that
Right.
about it.
You asked a question earlier, and with you saying what you just said now, it just kind of prompted. So you said, who would be our, you know, best client,
Ideal
ideal
client.
client, right? Anyone who's not where they want to be, I would say, you know.
Okay.
And and again, and you're so right. You don't have to stay on the feelings, but so when we talk about the program, that it's not the feelings. The program is living a healthy lifestyle, and it's
Yeah.
it's learning how to do that. So whether you're using the feelings after you get there, and some people kind of ebb and flow through that, you know
Mhm.
it doesn't matter because we're not focused on that. We're focused on the individual,
Mhm.
and so that's the program. The program is when you awaken to what it feels like and looks like, and all the experiences of being in a healthy body, right? That's the program. So all the other stuff, they're tools, they're ways to get there.
I love that. I think that behavior modification is the key to success. And I think it's really unfortunate that a lot of people, you're 64, I'm almost 50. And, a lot of my friends are in the age range between 40 and 70. Like, I would say that's a drastic span. But so many people, they get to a certain point in their life and, things don't work as well as they used to. Things get sore real easy. And a lot of people just accept this is just the way it is. They have weight gain, women who go through menopause and just are like, well, this is it. Or, oh, I had 3 kids. So
Right.
this is just the way it is. And they become satisfied with the mediocrity
Right.
and the average and not feeling good, but just accept that that is what is. And once you discover and tap into that feeling, not even necessarily getting to your goal weight, because sometimes it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
We say that all the
About,
time. It is a,
oh, okay.
if you ever get
So
to
we're
your
in,
destination, then you've said yourself, you cut yourself short because we're not.
yeah, it's because it's all that stuff the good stuff you get from getting to that
Right.
point, the self-confidence that you gain, that self-love. A lot of people who struggle with that self-respect, because the way that your body looks is a reflection of how you feel about yourself.
Very true.
There's no denying it.
I.
And if you're on the couch eating shit all the time, drinking all the time, and I've been there, I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it was during the most unhappy times in my life.
Yeah.
So it's that behavior modification that's the key, to tap into it and to discover that your life can be so much better.
Yeah, you're right. And if people get used to kind of that new normal, that just kind of happens to them. And
Mm-hmm.
and I love what Dr. Anderson says. He wants people to be the driving force of their life. So you get to create the life that you want. Now, obviously, there's you know circumstances and things that go into that.
Sure.
That is what it is. But he walked away, and he was still is critical care physician, 10th board certified. He had an amazing practice that he walked away from about 25 years ago because
Wow.
he said he was tired of reacting to disease. He wanted to help people create health. And
Mm.
so, so this became a mission for him. And those of us that are on this side and coaching, it has, we've either had a personal experience with it changing our lives, like I have, or
Mm-hmm.
you've seen this effect with somebody else and you want to have that type of purpose and mission in your life. Because, and this, Abby, nothing feels better than helping somebody win. I mean,
Right.
it's such an addictive feeling when
Mm-hmm.
you've like awakened something in somebody and all of a sudden they are better because of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
give me more of that.
Right. It feels good. And they always say, what, I don't know the exact phrase, but something to the effect of, the best thing you can do when you get out of the pit is to turn around and extend your hand to help the others.
Exactly.
And that's why I am just so passionate about what I do. I get teary eyed. Sometimes I'll just be driving to work and I'll get a text from a client and I'm sure you can identify with this, that hit a mark or fit into some pants, or somebody said, wow, I can really, you're looking so great, or I sleep better, I went off this med. I literally get teary eyed, you know,
I do.
just because it brings me so much joy to help
Yeah.
people. And because I know what it feels like to not feel good. And we both know what it feels like to feel
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
To bring everybody over.
Yeah. And if I could share one little quick story, because
Yeah, would
I
love it.
started when I first went through the program, I was not thinking about coaching. My wife traveled a lot. She was gone a lot. We had 5 kids. She was
Oh
she was
man.
gone 1, 2, sometimes 3 weeks in a row, for her work. It was very difficult on us, and we had our own business as well, that I managed and operated. And sometimes I could do it from home. Sometimes I had to, go out on the road as well. Um, but the Anyway, I became a coach because one person. I've had a number of people ask me if I could help them, and I would introduce them to my coach. Like there's nothing in me that wanted one more thing. I also managed a travel baseball team on top of it. So I was just
Oh my
we were just that ridiculous family that we're just never home. And so I had a brother ask me to help him, and I said, "Sure, I'll connect you with my coach." And he said, "No, I'll only do it if you coach me." And so,
goodness.
so I became a coach to help him, and then I literally just fell in love with the experience. Um, I'm not gonna lie, we get paid well for doing good, so that really got my attention too. That he gave
Yeah.
me start my dreamer going in a different direction. But
Mhm.
Kelly and I were in St. Louis. I was coaching for, I don't know, 3, 4 years at the time, and we checked in. We were at a coffee shop, and we just did a Facebook check in. And a gentleman walked in, and he walked up to me and he said, he goes, "Are you Tim Giardino?" I said, "Yes." And he stuck his hand out and he introduced himself. And he had these big tears in his eyes. And it actually gets me kind of emotional thinking about it because basically, not basically, he said, he goes, "I want to thank you for giving me my wife back. She got healthy on this program and everything changed. The whole family dynamic, their relationship, everything changed." And then it went right, like that got into my heart. It's like, okay, this is more than what I thought it was. And we
Mhm.
get to give people a second chance, a reset. And that's priceless. We would do this for free, because of, of those feelings and being able to change lives the way that this program, this offering, allows people to do.
Wow. Well, I love that. And I'm so grateful for you for sharing all this information with us about your wonderful program, Optavia. And how do people get in touch with you? Or is there a website, or how do people learn more about it?
You know, there is a website, and what we do is we typically don't send people to a website because usually, and we know this because one of 3 things typically happens. They get overwhelmed by all the information,
Sure.
and a confused mind does nothing, so nothing happens. Um, they look at the cost and think it's in addition to, but it actually replaces. It comes out of your grocery budget, so they'll
Gotcha.
discount themselves, or they get excited and sign up, and then they get assigned a random coach. And so,
Okay.
if people know a coach or somebody who's coaching, then I would say reach out to them personally. A lot of us are on, social media, Facebook, Instagram, um, whatever. People do other things. I'm 64. I'm staying right there in my lane. So, but
Okay.
but they reach out to their coach, and
Okay.
we want that conversation with them first, because
Right. Okay, so would it be fair to say that I can just put your contact info in the show
oh,
notes?
absolutely,
So then if people are interested in partnering with you and having you as their coach, because they're not in contact with any others, because I know I love your respect factor there of not trying to steal business from other
oh
coaches.
no,
Um, but if they're interested, we can put your contact information in the show notes so they can reach out to you and you can have a really nice conversation with them and educate them personally on their personal experience and what they're looking to
yeah,
do.
yeah, that'd be great. We again, we just love helping people, so yeah.
Okay, great. Well, we'll make sure we do that. So in closing, what's next for you, Tim? What's next on the horizon? You've been with this company for about 12 years,
12,
right?
12 plus years.
So what's coming next for you?
You know what? We have no, I'm at that age now where like my friends are they're retiring and things like that. well, we would do this anyway. Why would we ever retire? So, more of the same. We have five kids. They're all over the country, all spread out. We have seven grandkids. So
Wow.
we get to travel around and see them, and that's what It's also kind of the freedom that we have, because as long as I have a cell phone, I can work. We can work our business and support our clients, and we support our coaches as well. Everybody has multiple layers of support. Nobody's just out there by themselves. So even if somebody brand new on program needs a little extra boost, whether it's accountability or income to pay for their healthier food, whatever that is for them, we coach right along with them. So
Wow.
anybody
Great.
anybody can benefit from this, and we absolutely love that, because we're always focused on the person, them winning. And when you have that focus, we live that abundant mindset. Like, we don't need to, we just want everybody to get healthy.
Right. That's ultimately what we both want. That's why we wanted to have this great conversation and educate people about your company. So thank you so much for your time. Time is the most valuable thing we have, and to share an hour with us, that's wonderful. So thank you so, so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. And thank you for tuning into this episode of the Your Fitness Chick podcast. As always, I'm here to inspire, uplift, educate, and motivate you to become your best self. Hey, it's Abby, your fitness chick. Thanks for checking out today's episode. With your continued support, I can keep creating inspiring episodes just like this one. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. To stay motivated all week long, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. The links for those can be found in the show notes. Check out my website by visiting www.yourfitnesschick.com. And I'd like to thank my production company, Coraggio Media, but most of all you, my listeners, for helping to inspire me each and every day. I'll see you on the next episode.